then.
Yes, people, another edition of Knightz and the Round Table discussions where we talk about all sports all the time. Got my guys, Tooth and the Truth, with me. How are we doing, people?
What's going on? It's party time.
What's good? What's good?
Yes, and before we start, as you know, like and subscribe on the video,
Hit
on
that like
the
button.
channel. Hit the like button. Coming out with more content all the time. We're getting the views up slowly but surely, but we want to get them up and up and up so we can all retire at 40 years old and live in the Bahamas somewhere. But we're not going to waste any more time. Deadline day is done. The transfer window is closed. Well, at least internationally, it's closed. Absolute madness on deadline day. And we're going to go through what happened with Arsenal. We're going to go through a little bit. We're going to hit up Tooth and what his thoughts on Newcastle's deals. And yeah, we're going to talk about Man United. But anyway, just to go through some of the transfers, some of the players that are coming to play in the Premier League. We've all seen some of them already, the likes of Timo Werner, Kai Havertz. We've still got to see Ziyech, Thiago Alcantara at Liverpool has come in. Matt Doherty to Tottenham has come in. Loads and loads of transfers, but we are going to start with my guy, The Truth, and his Arsenal team. We know that you are very, very happy with what happened yesterday on deadline day. The signing of the man himself, Thomas Partey.
Hey, yo. Oh, man. Hey, where's my tune? Oh, I can't even find my tune. Don't worry. I'll find it next time.
Find your tune. I'll go through the rest of you lot transfers while you look for it. They also got Willian on a free, bought in Pablo Mari, Cedric Suarez, Gabriel, Ceballos is back on loan. Loads and loads of people coming in at Arsenal Football Club. But we know the main guy is Thomas Partey.
Them say you know what you do, where you do them job. I'm a grown young fan, I'm gonna open a job. I face in pain, oh face up. I'm gonna oh face up. I face in pain, oh face up. I'm gonna oh face up. Them say you know what you do, where you do them job. I'm a grown young fan, I'm gonna open a job. I face in pain, oh face up. I'm gonna oh face up. I face in pain.
Truth, just talk to us about how you felt, because until about, I think, in the afternoon of deadline day, right, no one thought this deal was going to happen.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, the Arsenal fans were starting to become restless, boy, because without Thomas Partey, it would have been a horrible window. For me personally, I love the fact we signed Partey, because for me, we've been trying to replace Vieira for, when did he go? 2005, 15 years now. We've not had a replacement, and I truly think now we've finally have an adequate replacement for the legend that was Paddy V. That being said, though, I don't want Arsenal fans to fully, that gloss over everything that happened. At the end of the day, signing Partey was a minimum for me. Actually, it wasn't even a minimum. That's a joke. Signing two was a minimum for us. We needed Partey and we needed a player like our. I'm not saying our, but we need a player like our to come in as well, because we struggle with creativity. So Partey, while it was a very good signing, very exciting signing, solves a lot of problems for us. For me, I wanted more. I think we wanted and we needed more. And Arsenal, the board always do this. They get a signing, the fans being the fickle fans that they are, they're like, yes, we got the signings, we're fine now. Watch. If things go sour, in a few weeks or in a few months, we'll be right back at square one. Oh, they should have signed they didn't get the checkbook out, because let's be real, I think our net spend this year was about 50 mil. Was about 50 mil. And yes, I know COVID and everything. I know COVID has been a problem, but when you think about what other clubs have spent, it isn't that impressive what we've done. And I know we needed to get some names out, but for me, getting in the players is more important than getting players out, because success breeds more success,
Mm,
and we get more money in the more successful we are.
of course.
So, there's still issues there, but for this time being, I'm happy we got Partey. We solved a huge issue that we're missing in that midfield conundrum. So yeah, I'm mildly happy, but there's still more to be done.
Well, I do completely agree with everything that you said, especially when it comes to Partey. Just watching Arsenal, we know that since Vieira left, there's been a massive
Oh,
void in the middle of midfield. I mean, I
basically.
think Wenger changed stance with having Vieira and who was it? Vieira and
You guys know
Silva,
Vieira,
was
Edu,
it
Vieira,
Gilberto
Gilberto.
Silva?
say that
Yeah,
again.
Yeah, I was about to say, didn't Gilberto take over
Oh yeah,
the role?
sorry. How
yeah,
can we
but
forget
Gilberto
Gilberto
was
Silva?
but Gilberto was a totally defensive midfielder. When we talk about Vieira, we're talking about someone that is box to box, can control that entire central area of the field. Gilberto was just a defensive midfielder. Partey is definitely more in the Vieira mode than the Gilberto mode.
Fair enough. That's a good analysis of it. I mean, they did have two correctly brought up Gilberto Silva, and obviously he's a club legend in himself because he was very good in that Arsenal midfield. But obviously, since then, him leaving, there's been a massive hole. Wenger tried to change it, tried to go smaller with the likes of Fabregas and Jack Wilshere and some of the other names like Nielsen, Abu Diaby, who was touted as the next Vieira. Unlucky because of all the injuries
Yeah,
that he got. El Nene.
President El Nene,
I mean, all these players that they tried to use, and it just hasn't worked. And we know that
Mm,
Arsenal fans have been screaming out for a holding midfielder for the part at least a minimum of 5 years. They've been
yeah,
screaming out for a centre midfielder, and I think the one thing I will say about Arsenal in this transfer window, I do agree you needed more. Aouar should have been done because
mm,
the Partey thing was simple, and
yeah.
that's what I didn't understand. All you had to do was trigger his
No,
release
yeah,
clause, and that was it.
exactly. I don't understand the strategy. What I personally believe is that we were trying to get our done for as cheap as possible so we can get our and Partey. But Leon were firm that they wanted the 50 million euros, which is about 45 million pounds. They were firm on that stance. So once that happened, I thought we always had the money for Partey. I've literally always knew that in my head. We've got the money for Partey, but um, we did a bit of a gangster move, which I personally didn't like, to be honest. The way we left it till late, I think it would have been better just to get it done out the way and then work the rest of the summer on our. I don't like signing this last minute. I think it's kind of it's a bit dread on Atletico. Last minute you're losing
I mean,
one of
I
your
mean, I
top
mean,
players.
I mean, we understand that Simeone was fuming
Yeah,
because
he was.
his whole thing is that it's done on the last day, and
Mm,
he thought he was keeping Partey and
mm,
still bringing in Torreira.
yeah.
He was saying that was going to be his midfield, but obviously they triggered the release clause. Once the release clause been triggered, I mean, I mean, we all know what happened with Luis Suarez allegedly. You know what I mean? But the release clause was triggered, and Partey is now an Arsenal player, and it makes the team so much better.
So
And
much.
you
Yeah.
can now not panic as much,
Mm,
and you won't get carved open as much
yeah,
as what
definitely.
it was prior. Don't get me wrong, Arteta's
Definitely.
done a good job so far in cutting that out and trying to stop it. But having someone like Thomas Partey there just makes it even more solid. But very, very good signing, and obviously for the future. What was it, a 4 or 5 year deal? I think
5 year
they just
contract, which is
5 year
four
deal.
with a 1 year option to extend, which is it's amazing for us. We got him in his prime. I'll tell you what it does do is still send a message that no matter what position we are, we can still attract, because we got him from a Champions League club. You know, someone fighting for titles has come to us that we finished 8th. You know, we're fighting. At the moment, let's be real, we're fighting for Europe. Like, I know we want Champions League, but we are still fighting for that top 7, top 8, top 9, whatever you want to call it, because, you know, you got Leicester, Wolves, Everton. It's difficult, man. And as you see, the results this year are going to be so up and down. It is no top 4, no top 6. I think you genuinely have a top 9. So
the season's gonna be absolutely crazy. So, like, transfer windows are becoming even more important to get the right players in, because you're gonna have to be fighting tooth and nail to try and. Well, we still believe that the title. Well, I still believe a title is still a 2-horse race. Some people may say 3 if you want to add Chelsea to the mix.
I think it's a 1-horse race.
Not based on Fat Frank, but just based on the players that they've acquired in the transfer window. I know a lot of people are looking at it, but at the end of the day, as bad as Man City are looking, I mean, Villa and 7-2, no one saw that coming. So I can see why people think it's going to be another Liverpool title. But at the end of the day, the way how the league is looking right now, I think it's either or. It's whichever one can pick up the best form and keep the most clean sheets gets the win. But I just wanted to talk to you about the defenders that you've brought in. I mean, another position where Arsenal fans have been screaming out for it to be fixed, and the defensive structure was sorted out early. I mean, Pablo Mari, but wasn't Mari supposed to go back out on loan? Again?
No, you mean Saliba? Saliba,
Saliba.
He was supposed to go back out on loan. What happened is, unfortunately, what has been happening, I think he lost his. I don't want to say. Well, let's just say he had personal problem. I don't want to say in case it's not true, because I did read that something happened in terms of his mum or something. But if it's not true, I don't want to put it out there. But something happened in his life and personal problems, so he's been struggling to adapt, basically. I remember he's only 19 years old.
Yeah,
you know, he's a young boy, but
he's a baby.
Yeah, so in terms of putting him out there, we don't want to go and do anything silly and just launch him out there and then he struggles. So what Arteta wants to do, he wants to send him back out on loan, let him get some more experience in his own time. Not having him line up, because Arsenal fans were expecting too much. People are calling him like Van Dijk and
what? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Stuff. I was like, come on, man. The guy's nice. He's a 19-year-old kid, man. So there's going to be way too much pressure on him from Arsenal fans. So I'm glad, keep him out the limelight.
Apparently, he missed the loan deal to Saint.
Yeah, he was supposed to go back to Saint Etienne, but apparently paperwork got messed up on that stuff, so he's not going.
You say a broken fax machine.
Yeah, that fax machine broke down again. I don't know what happened. Both clubs are blaming one another. So yeah, they're looking to send him out on loan in the Championship, which it could help, but then I'm not sure about it. If you come from France, you got personal issues, you don't want to go on a flipping cold night in Stoke. You don't want to go on a cold November night in Stoke or something. And so I don't know what's going to happen there. Hopefully it gets sorted out. He gets, maybe a top Championship club are coming for him, so it's a bit more comfortable. Maybe Derby or something. I know Rooney's there. Bit of star quality there. So let's see what happens there.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, back to your defense. I mean, Pablo Mari, Gabriel's there, Cedric Suarez, who no one's really talking about, to be honest, because I know he was there. I know he was there pandemic-wise, but you officially signed him. I know he's a backup. He's a backup for Bellerin, but I mean, he was Southampton's number 1 right back at the time. So, how do you? But if we focus on the 2 main ones, which are Gabriel and Pablo Mari, how do you see them adapting? Gabriel, we've seen, he looks good, got a left foot. Haven't seen anything of Mari yet, but how do you think that is going to change the way how Arsenal's defence operates?
So recently, I think towards the end of last season, we started going 3-4-3. with 3 centre backs. And while it's made us more stable, it's really affected our creativity, because obviously we've had to only play with 2 midfielders and it's been Xhaka and Neni or Xhaka and Ceballos. And they've done okay. They've done okay, but it really stifles our creativity. I think with Partey coming in, we can go back to a 4-5-1 or 4-3-3 formation, which will help our creativity a bit more, because what will happen, Partey can just manage that space in between the midfield and the defenders, and that way what we haven't really ever had is that protection. Xhaka's not a flipping defensive midfielder. He never ever has been. Teams get past him like he's not even there, like he's Casper or something. Ceballos, that's not his role. So having an actual presence there is going to help us now to actually play 4-5-1 or 4-3-3. Personally, I don't know what Arteta is going to do, to be honest. I don't know if he trusts David Luiz enough to go David Luiz and Gabriel together at the back. I don't know if he trusts him enough, because Luiz is a liability in a 4-4 when he got 4 at the back. Holding he's getting better, but he's not there yet. Murray is still injured, but he should be coming back. I think November. I think that's the time he said he was coming back. But then Murray and Gabriel can't play because they're both left-footed. So Arteta's kind of got an issue what he's going to do at the back. I don't really have the answer right now in terms of what we're going to do in that position, because it's something that we're just going to have to work out, like see who's the best combination. And I say fullbacks taking care of Bellerin, and even though I think actually Cedric is better than Bellerin for me. Bellerin, I know he had a good game against Stoke, but he's so up and down. Sometimes you're like, yeah, this is the old Bellerin, and other times you're like, why are you scared to attack for? Tierney on the left, that's a given. Solid, one of the top left backs I say top 3 left backs in England right now. So yeah, defense is looking much better, but as I said, Partey solved that. It's about creativity now. We have to look to be more creative, because I think we got one of the lowest shots in the Premier League.
Did you say Bellerin?
Bellerin what?
Like top 3 left backs?
No, that's part Tierney.
Oh, scene. Yeah. All right, my bad.
Bellerin's not even in the top 5 best right backs for me. Don't worry. So yeah,
I was ready to jump, bro. I was ready to jump.
It sounds like Arsenal are finally getting sorted. And like I said, with Arteta, it looks like you have a system. It looks like you have a plan, and I can only see things going strength to strength. I understand about what you're saying about it's creating chances, like clear-cut chances in the shots. Yeah. The amount of shots that you lot get is an issue, so I can understand why.
5, I think. We're low, but 5 or so.
But I think that's what Willian was brought in for, and obviously he got the 2 assists in the first game. It was not 3; it was 2. He got the 2 assists in the first game, and I think he's just trying to adapt, because again, he's like, when you play 3-4-3, it's not as clear cut as what they think. It takes some adjusting to, especially when you've been basically playing 4-3-3 throughout your whole time in England. On my final point on Arsenal, it's got nothing to do with the transfers. It's to do with it's to do with Abba. Why is Abba not playing through the middle?
Fam, I swear to God, I thought you were about to bring up the fucking dinosaur, bruv. I'm so glad you didn't go down.
Oba.
I swear the way you set up the question, I swear I thought you were about to go into the dinosaur, bruv.
I'm not going to even lie to you. I don't know what Arteta's thought process is in terms of putting Oba on the left. I don't like. It's an issue. So with Arsenal, we are very unbalanced in terms of the players that we have. Like, we've got Lacazette and Oba, and they're quality strikers, but they can't play together. Like, forcing them to play together, it doesn't work. Defense, we got probably our 2 best defenders. You'll probably say Murray and Gabriel, but they're both left-footed. Luis and Holding are too slow. I'm not even going to mention Socrates and Mustafi because
I didn't even realize that they were still there.
Yeah, we were unable to get at the dead wood. I think
No,
we were unable
listen,
to get out.
I'll tell you about dead
I
wood.
know, I know you understand as well. Getting out that dead was hard to do. Midfield, now we got Partey, we got a bit more options, but midfield we were struggling. We had no person to really. Well, we do have a person, but he's paying for Gunnosaurus's new wage. He's paying Gunnosaurus's wages, so our team is just still unbalanced. There's too many people not in the right position that we want them to. So it's a thing where we're honestly still experimenting. No Arsenal fan could come out and say, "Oh, this is our perfect lineup." We have to experiment to see who's the most consistent in every position. But going forward, Oba has to play for the middle. He has to. Like, him out on the left is a waste.
I mean, I if everything doesn't make sense. I mean, he was doing it and he scored goals. I know he's gone out on the left and he's also scored goals. But I think now that you've actually got two natural wide players in Willian and Pepe, there's no excuse for Abba not going through the middle. And obviously, if anything, Laka coming off the bench. Don't be wrong. You can like, I think. Don't be wrong. I personally believe, like, in the home games, in them easy home games, I don't have an issue with it being Abba, Laka, and Willian. But in the big games, play Willian, play Pepe, play Abba through the middle, because you're gonna be scared. I mean, Pepe's had a season to bed into the Premier League, and obviously he scored the goal on the weekend. Like, let him free now, man.
Yeah, I think I don't. As much as I love, Arteta and what he's done, I hope that he doesn't have a few of the bad habits from that Pep does in terms of chopping and changing and playing people out of position and then expecting. For me, Pepe had a good end of the last season. You could tell he was starting to get used to the league. Maybe he came back a bit sluggish, but he has to start next game. I don't care. He has to start against City. I have a feeling he won't, but for me, Pepe has to start against City.
Oh, City
just
the next
let
game.
him play. Yeah, City next game.
What, you at home or away? You're away because City were away at Leeds, isn't it?
Yeah, we're away.
Yeah.
Just let him go play. Just let him loose. Even if he has a bad game, it doesn't matter. Like, these players, what happens is the fans really get on these players for no reason. Like, Pepe, when he came off the bench against Liverpool, I know he wasn't great, but you're coming off the bench in a very tough, into a tough atmosphere. It's hard. It is hard. I know Aston Villa made it look easy, but strategies are different and stuff. Not every player is the same. Not every team is the same. So, our fans need to be a little bit more patient, and I have full faith in Pepe.
I don't blame you at all. Just on the final to wrap up on Arsenal. Now that the international transfer window is closed. Reason why I say that is transfers can still happen from Premier League to EFL clubs until, what is it, the 16th or something like that? One of those dates. But now that the international transfer window is closed, what are you expecting from Arsenal for the rest of the season now?
Look, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, there's a lot of people I've been, watching loads of podcasts, loads of streams. People, they're predicting this, predicting that. I'm like, you should know by now. With lockdown, you cannot predict anything. Like, I know people doing fantasy football. Like, even I'm doing fantasy football. Like, you can't predict. You might as well just press auto-complete and you get more success from that. Because no one could predict anything. No one predicted Aston Villa 7-2. No one predicted Leicester 5-2. Tottenham and United. I know you predicted that. I know you predicted that, but no one else predicted that. You can't really predict this stuff. Like, me personally, I want us to take advantage that Liverpool at the moment don't have a direct rival and go out and be their rival, for the title. Like, I want that. I think there's space there. Like, even if we're like 20 points behind, at least if, we're second. Like, I think that needs to be our goal. I don't want to hear people saying top four. I'm like, you can't aim that low in a season like this when there's a top 9. Like, there's a top 9, so you can't be aiming for top 4. Let's go and say, let's try to be Liverpool's rival for this season and then see where that takes us, So our team is good enough for me to definitely finish top 4. I want a bit more. I expect more, so let's see what happens.
Yeah, we'll have to watch this space. As I said, for me, I think it's been a brilliant transfer window for Arsenal. I think there could have been more. I think the Alva deal should have been done, and if it was done, it would have been hella problems for everybody else if you lot would have got that done. But obviously, you still got issues with your board and what they're doing, and the Partey thing is a little bit of a smoke screen.
That's what I'm telling you what, yeah. TJ knows before this, I was coming to light up Stan Kroenke before Partey signed, but I'm telling you, Kroenke heard some of those fans or something went on. Edu heard some of the fans that were going to come for him. I know troops from ATV, he's going over to LA, and he threatened Kroenke, so maybe Kroenke said, I don't want any of that smoke. So, yeah, they got away with one, I'm not going to lie.
They have indeed, but we will watch and see what happens with Arsenal Football Club. Good transfer window. As the truth says, it's Partey time for the Gooners. And coming up next, we're going to go over to Tooth, and we are going to talk about Newcastle.
Go.
Yes, people, and we are back, and now we are moving on to Tooth's team, Newcastle, the Magpies. Actually doing some business in the transfer window, considering the fact that every time we get to this point, we're talking about what Newcastle haven't done in the transfer window. But they've brought in the likes of Jeff Hendrick, Callum Wilson, Ryan Fraser, Jamal Lewis, and they've come in and they've all made an impact on the Newcastle team. Tooth, out of all those, I know Callum Wilson is probably the one that sticks out. How do you feel about the signings that have been made for Newcastle?
Brilliant signings, man. For real. Like, fuck, for a club like us, we're always picking out these sort of gems. Do you know what I mean? And then when they come to us, they seem to hit the ground running. Do you know what I mean? But like Maxi, Almiron, Joe Linton, my boy. Had to throw him in there, bro. But yeah, bro, fucking Callum is doing the business, man. Tearing it up, bro. Do you know what I mean? I think he could hit 20 goals a season, bro. Fuck it. If Danny Ings...
should do. If he's fit, he's definitely hitting 20 goals.
Do you know what I mean? If Danny Ings fucking done it, I think him and Joe Linton are going to be formidable, bro.
Fuck it.
Let's get my boy, yeah?
This guy.
Fraser's looking good as well. Yeah. Fraser's looking like a good buy. Hendricks as well. Looks like a decent.
He's done well.
Scored that screamer, innit?
Proper.
First game against Burnley.
Fielder, man. And who's the Trent Alexander?
Jamal Lewis.
Jamal Lewis.
I think he's good, you know. He's quite a good signing, that was, I think.
Hey, bro, he looks like him. He plays like him. Fuck it. Might as well be him, bro. So he's looking decent as well, bro. But to be fair, I don't know too much about him because who the fuck watches Norwich play, bro?
It's true. I mean, he had a good season for Norwich last season. It is a good buy considering it was I think you lot were relying on Manquillo at right back, bro.
Trust me, bro. That was
It's an upgrade. It's an upgrade.
But I know obviously like you glimpse football, you're not really into it because of the whole ownership situation at Newcastle. But in the little bits and pieces, especially in the last game, how do you feel about the combination of St. Maxi and Callum Wilson?
Jeez.
Oh, fire, bruv. Add some Joe Linton in there, bruv. You know what I mean? Bruv, no, for real, it looks hot, man. It looks hot. That whole sort of attacking lineup looks pretty decent, man. And it looks like we can even get a cup run out of it as well. So think about it. You got Joe Linton, yeah? You got Almiron, you got Fraser, Wilson,
Hendricks, Maxi.
You know what I mean?
And Mandy Carroll as well.
Bruv, my boy, still trying to make the England team, bruv. Andy Carroll, yeah? Trust me. Bruv, listen, if Harry Maguire is getting called up to the England fucking squad, bruv, stick Andy Carroll in there. Do you know what I mean? Business. But bruv, we also got this sick signing from Peru, this 18-year-old attacking midfielder, Rodrigo Vilsa.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he looks decent, bruv. I was looking him up, and he looks like the kind of player that fits the Almiron mold. So I'm looking forward to see him play. But I can't lie, like he's super young, and he didn't look like the finished product in the Peruvian league. So mate, I don't know, man. Our scouts, they must have seen something in him to
Is that Norberto Solano's son or something? Did he make it?
Trust me. Oi, Nobby Solano. But hey, check this out, yeah. When Nobby came to Newcastle, no one knew who the fuck he was, bruv. Do you get what I mean?
Legend.
Yeah. And he turned out to be a good signing, man.
You know what I mean? So this kid, it's promising, but we'll see. I mean, like his YouTube videos look decent. He's got a few tricks up his sleeve. He can play deep lying midfielder. And he's got skills, he's got pace. He fits that sort of Almiron role. So I'm not too unhappy with our sort of squad right now, man. I think personally, in the bigger picture of things, it's a way for Ashley to try sell the club as well.
Yeah.
Make it a little bit more profitable and make it a little bit more attractive. But right now, I don't even want Ashley to leave, bro. Fuck it, bro.
I don't know. I think you guys have set up where, for me, Newcastle are in a position where they can get that next level manager that can take them into Europe, because they've got it's a formidable mid-table side there. You know, they're waiting for someone that could just take them to the next level for me.
Fam, that's the first time I've heard formidable and mid-table put in the same fucking sentence, bro.
Nah, you didn't come on.
No, for
Everton,
real, I think
Everton were mid-table.
Realistically, that should be the goal this year. We shouldn't be finishing anything below than what we finished last year. And last year, we were just dragging ourselves by the heels to like not get relegated, and we done fairly decently. This year, with the investment that we've put into the club, there's no way that we should be finishing below the position we finished last year, given the start that we've had to the season, and given the fact that the boys up front are doing the business. And is it like, I just want to compare it to like Fat Frank, bruv. Do you know what I mean? Like Fat Frank last year was dragging himself by the heels, and now he got all this investment. In my opinion, if he finishes anything below what he did last season, P45. Get the fuck out. Like, you've been given 200 million. You brought in some of the hottest players in Europe. I know I'm going off on a bit of a tangent, but I want Chelsea to do well, man, because they bought some of my boys. Do you know what I mean? They bought Havertz, they bought Werner, they bought Ziyech, they bought Pooley. Like, these are all my boys that I was following, like, in the Dutch league and in Germany as well. So if he flops with these players, man, P45, bruv, Nova chuck his ass out of fucking Stamford. But yeah, same with Newcastle, bro. There's no way we should be finishing below what we finished last year. I can't even remember what we finished 11th. What was it last year?
10th last year or 11th?
What was it? I don't think it was 10th.
I don't think it was 10th either. I'm not sure, but anyway, we were bottom half of the league for sure. I'm certain of that. But yeah, man.
Just to come in on that, what you said. What 13th. Yeah, you shouldn't be finishing lower than 13th.
Exactly.
What do you think Steve Bruce can get the best out of these players?
Hell no, bruv. It's Steve fucking Bruce, man. Come on. Kick and rush football, bruv. Do you get what I mean? Like, but no, for real, he's done a decent job so far. We'll give him time, man. Do you know what I mean? We'll give him time. We'll see what happens. As I said, anything below 13th, P45, bro.
I'm not gonna lie. Even I know you guys have had a decent start, 7 points out of 12. I would say though, looking at the football this year, I don't think Steve Bruce is the guy to take you guys forward. Like, I know you guys had a decent start, but looking just at the football, for me, your team is so much better than the football that you're displaying. Like against Burnley, it was more
Newcastle thing, bruv. It's we love shit managers, bruv. And if we have a good manager, we kick him out, bruv. Bobby Robson and fucking Rafa Benitez, both fired. but we gave man like Alan Pardeau an 8-year fucking contract.
Hey, you guys have had legendary managers: Alan Shearer, Souness,
John Roder.
Glenn Roder.
Oh, Glenn Roder, sorry.
Bruv. Sam fucking Allardyce, bruv.
Oh, he's a legend, bruv. I don't care what anyone says. I love Big Sam.
Big Sam, bruv. What is 100% England record? Yeah,
There's 100% not having anyone relegated.
Was Michael Owen ever a manager?
Nah,
bro.
Nah. He fell out with Shearer in it.
Yeah.
For real. Their beef is so bitter, bruv. It still goes on to this day. It's so bad.
Dear. But Tooth, just
they used to play together as well, bruv. Remember that '98 World Cup with Argentina? Him and Shearer were fucking the two strikers, bruv.
Yeah.
Mad thing. But Tooth, just to wrap up on Newcastle. Obviously, you don't expect them to finish no lower than 30th or P45. How high do you think you lot can finish, considering it's like, as the Truth said, the attacking talent that you've got and you listed as well, the attacking talent that you've got at the club? How high can they go?
Bruv, top 10 for sure. Between, I mean, Europa will be wishful thinking, but I don't see why not, given that there's a lot of teams that are flopping. Man United, but shots fired. But no, man, Europa. But we have to be finishing. Like I said, anything above 13th, I'll take. Anything higher than that is sort of a bonus, man. But Europa would be nice, man. We haven't been in Europa for a while. I think like in over 5-6 years. The last time we were in Europa.
It's longer than that, isn't it?
What?
It's longer than that, isn't it?
Yeah, no. We played in Europa.
Oh, I think Pardew got you guys into Europa.
Oh, yeah.
It was 2012, yeah. So it was 8 years ago.
Yeah, 8 years ago.
Yeah.
I think realistically, Newcastle finishing 10th, and if you can get a cup run in the FA Cup.
Oh, you guys need a cup, man.
Yeah, a cup run in the FA Cup.
I think it's what? To correct me, I think it's 69 was Newcastle's last trophy. I can't even off the top of my head. I used to follow Newcastle in it. So
how the fuck do you know this shit, bro?
I used to follow them as a youngster. I was a Shearer fan. That was my celebration when I used to bang goals.
I'm sure we won the Intertoto Cup in like.
No. I actually remember that, man.
Intertoto Cup.
I actually remember that.
We won the championship with the highest ever points as well, bro. Let's not rule that out as well, bro. But yeah,
that kind of championship trophy. Are you mad? Oh, shit.
Man was celebrating that hard, bro. You know them ones there, bro. So, bro, I wish we were still in the championship sometimes. Banging them titles, bro. We be United of the championship, bro. We like 22 of those shits, bro.
This guy.
But yeah, Newcastle, anything above 13th, bruv. Otherwise, P45, get the fuck out. And either way, even if we do finish above 13th and we do get Europa League, he's going anyway because Ashley's going to sell the club, hopefully to them filthy, stinking rich Arabs, and then we'll get Poch or Mourinho or Rafa back, someone like that. So, knock on wood, man. Knock on wood.
Wishful thinking from Tooth and Newcastle, and we shall watch them because as I said, with St. Maxi, Callum Wilson, Ryan Fraser, and man like Joe Linton, right? The attacking talent that Newcastle have, with all the new signings, fresh blood, it should galvanise the team, and hopefully they do finish in the top 10. If they get Europa, even better, because nothing will be better than seeing Newcastle back in Europe as well, where they were mixing with the elite in the 90s. Thank you for that. And yeah, next.
Let's take a break.
This is a main part.
Yeah, next we'll be talking about.
I'm gonna go for a cigarette. I don't want to miss a moment. Take a little break.
I know.
Thoughts, bruv. You know what I mean? All that pent up energy, bruv. I want you to just roll it up into like a Zen ball and then just do a Hadouken. Bruv, just release it. You know them ways there, bruv. Street Fighter Alpha 3 when the screen goes multicolored and shit, bruv. 17 hit combo, bruv. Just release it, bruv.
Man, next up, we'll be talking about Man United. So, yeah, come back when you're ready. Yes, people, and we're back for the final segment of transfer wrap-up, transfer summary, transfer debacle, transfer shambles, transfer whatever the hell you want to call it, because we're going to now be speaking about Manchester United, who signed Donny van de Beek for no reason. Signed Alex Tellers, which probably was the only transfer that we actually needed because we had a couch potato at left back. Gave someone their pension, coming in for 2 years in Edison Cavani. And looks like Man United are also doing daycare because they've signed, what is his name? Facundo Pelestri and Amad Diallo or Amad Traore or whatever name they want to give him. Yeah, go for it.
Oh man, I'll tell you what, yeah.
The segment of the show where we have a few ever moments, bro. You know what I mean? Just let it out, bro. Just let it all out, bro.
I'm not gonna lie, yeah. I was on yesterday, yeah. Even though we had the party news, I was on United podcast for the whole day. Whole day. I just listened to United podcast. But let's start off. First of all, let's start off with the main issue of the summer. Jadon Sancho. I think we have to address the elephant in the room. And I just want to hear your thoughts on what happened, why it happened, and just where does it leave the Jadon Sancho and United, transfer in the future?
Absolute shambles. I mean, Jadon Sancho, one of the hottest properties in Europe right now, playing well at a Dortmund team that is tailor-made for the way how he wants to play football. What United allegedly were trying to do, which, don't get me wrong, somewhat agree with, 108 million was a ridiculous amount of money to be spending on one player. I completely agreed with it. I said it in the previous podcast that I agree with it. We shouldn't be spending that money. So what United tried to do was go about it in a roundabout way. So they wanted to sort out personal terms and agents' fees with Jadon, which took a lifetime. No one knows why it took so long. But then it came out that was sorted. So I think United were trying to play chicken with Dortmund, thinking that Dortmund would fold and say, all right, cool, we'll take the money because we need it, especially after Dortmund recorded, I think this is the first time in 10 years they recorded losses of revenue. Yeah. And Dortmund said, hold on a minute, all right, what are you talking about? We gave you a deadline on the 10th of August. You ain't come to us with nothing. So he's not going nowhere. And they stood by it. United came in with a bid that would have went up to £90 million. I think it was 73, and then put it in installments after. And Dortmund just said, nah, mate, we told you what you were going to do. We told you what we wanted. Gave you a deadline. You didn't want to meet it, so go about your business. And I think the other thing that United expected, which Jadon didn't do, they expected Jadon to rock the boat and say, hand in a transfer request. And I understand why Jadon didn't do it. I mean, they took him on from Man City. Man City didn't want him. They took him on, and they've created a player that a lot of people are looking into as the hottest young prospects in the world. So if a team gambles on you and it works out, you're not then going to try and rock the boat and say, I want to hand in a transfer request. Not so soon anyway. Maybe next season when all the bigger names want to come in for him, then he might be like, well, Real Madrid or Barcelona's coming in for me, so I might have to do a little something. But as far as Man United are concerned, shambles from the board, shambles because there's no director of football, right? And it just didn't make any sense as to what they were trying to achieve with the Sancho deal. Yes, I agree, 108 million was ridiculous, but you could have said, all right, cool. Or you could have started the process sooner. But you thought, let's leave it to the last minute. Dortmund will panic, and then we just give him chicken change, and they're going to accept it. And that's not how it worked. Instead, Dortmund said, we've got the player. He's staying here. Ha ha. Because now you lot have to run around, and we've seen the foolishness that this not getting Jadon Sancho has created. So it's a absolute joke and a shambles from Ed Woodward and the board. But what do we expect? Ed Woodward's been out here for so long, and imagine, I hate going back to what it was, but unfortunately it's the only thing we can go back to. But with Fergie and Gill, it was like, go out, yep, here you go, let's do that, blah, 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 this, that, and the other, and that's it, right? Even half the deals, I know it's a lot more difficult in the social media world, but half the deals you didn't even know were going ahead when they were doing stuff. Anytime Man United going for a player, everyone knows about it before Man United know about it. How does that make sense? How does it make sense? And then when you got Woodward here and he doesn't know what he's doing because, man, he's a businessman, so he doesn't know anything about football, it's always going to be a disaster. But going back to Jadon, that's basically what happened. The club messed up. They thought they could bully Dortmund towards the end of the transfer window, and Dortmund said, nah, mate, you don't need him. We got him, and we're going to keep him till next summer. And as far as Jadon Sancho is concerned, he will never be playing in a Man United shirt now, because unless, and hopefully it doesn't, unless Corona comes back again and does the same thing, next summer, everyone is going to have money again. And they're going to be like, well, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Juventus, Bayern Munich, they're all good, PSG, they're all going to be going in for him. Jadon's going to be like, well, these guys are all playing Champions League football, because United won't be playing Champions League football next season. So these guys are playing Champions League football, and these guys are not even playing in Europe, because I don't even expect United to make Europe next season. All right, so Jadon's going to go elsewhere. So as far as I'm concerned, Jadon Sancho to Man United will never, ever happen unless, you know, we want to give him his pension when he's like 37 years old, like we seem to be doing with everybody else.
Tooth, you know, you're fully clued up on German football. So you, obviously with all the shenanigans that was going on, Man United were trying to take Dortmund for mugs, basically. You know the way Dortmund do their transfers. They're straight up, you know, all that. What are the German thoughts when it came to this, the way the whole transfer has been done, in terms of the way Dortmund feel about the way United have been doing this?
Clowns. Absolute clowns, bro. General consensus in Germany is that United are clowns. As TJ said, hottest property in probably football right now in terms of his age group, the position he plays in, and the potential that he has. He's already an international. He's playing Champions League football. He's a first team player at Dortmund. And let's not fuck around. Dortmund are a strong team. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of competition to get into that squad, let alone the starting 11.
Yeah.
Whenever they make purchases, despite losing some of their key players, they always buy players that can fulfill the role that they've lost. And look at some of the players that they've lost over the years. They've lost players like Perisic, Gundogan, Lewandowski, Götze, Oba. Do you know what I mean? They've lost
man. Everyone.
Dembele's
long list.
Long list.
Oh my days.
And trust me, and every time they've sold those players, they've never been robbed out their pockets. All right, fair enough. You could say Lewandowski left for free.
Yeah, apart from the one that left for free, everyone got sold for a big, big price.
Exactly. So they know what their worth is. And it was a case of, you know, Sancho, The only way you see Sancho leaving for a bargain is if Bayern come in for him.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Because the law of Bayern in Germany, you can't turn it down.
Yeah.
United just tried to play that whole, big bank take little bank kind of strategy, and it backfired. It backfired hard. Do you know what I mean? And speaking of players that United could use right now, is a player like fucking Sancho, because they lack creativity, they lack any pace on the wing. You got Fernandes, who's he's all right, but he's just made to look good because of his penalty stats. Do you know what I mean? In my opinion,
I agree.
Do you get what I mean? He's a decent player, but still, like, he doesn't bring that sort of flair and creativity and danger and threat that Sancho possesses. But yeah, the general consensus in Germany is that, they're just idiots for not paying up. And as TJ pointed out, quite frankly, there's no lack of teams that will be interested in him next season should he tear it up this season. And he will tear it up this season. Because another thing to point out is these German teams, all of these German teams, bruv, they are fucking super tactical. Like, they don't go out there. They don't send players out there to do kick and run football. They send players out there to actually play the game, study the game. So, you got players like your boy, the Jamaican youth, bruv.
Leon Bailey.
Bailey, bruv. You get me, doing business at Leverkusen, bruv. Do you get what I mean? He could have easily come to the Premier League at a young age and just been another typical winger, bruv. Do you know what I mean? Fast, and that's it. But in Germany, bruv, this guy's putting in numbers. He's putting in goals. He's putting in assists. He's carrying the team. Do you get what I mean? He also knows how to play the game. He knows when to release the ball. He knows how to get his other teammates involved. And that's the culture in Germany. And then look at some of the players that have left recently out of the Bundesliga. Werner didn't go for cheap. Pulisic didn't go for cheap. Havertz didn't go for cheap. Even though I think they were still bargains.
Yeah.
They didn't go for cheap, bro. Chelsea had to pay up for Werner and Havertz. Who was the other guy that I just mentioned? I forgot his name.
Pulisic.
Yeah, Pulisic. Yeah, they had to pay up for Pulisic. Do you know what I mean? And then they sent him back on loan because they knew, like, look, he still needs to develop and he's at the right club to, progress and get better at what he does. So, yeah, United are just idiot. They just approached that the complete wrong way. In my opinion, they should have just paid up. And then the fact that they tried to do underhanded tactics, like TJ mentioned, like, hoping that Jadon will put in a transfer and rock the boat, quote unquote, and it didn't happen. It's like, bruv, Jadon was never going to, speaking of that analogy, he was never going to leave that ship to jump on a sinking ship, such as United, bruv. And I think this result undermines the season. This result on the weekend, the 6-1 defeat, is just going to undermine the season, bruv. Do you know what I mean? Like, it really is. You're just going to have a poor season. I'm sorry to say it, but it looks that way. And I don't think he'll be coming to United anytime soon, unless the numbers make sense. Because we know in this business, it's all about, bruv. The dollar's got to make sense. Cash rules everything around me, cream.
Thanks for that too. Well, what I want to say though, just to go off, finish with the Jadon talk, is that a lot of United fans were so sure they were getting Jadon. For me, I know obviously you're a bit more pessimistic on that, but for me, from day one, when Dortmund said you pay 108, and they gave them an increase to the deadline, for me, it should have been over then. Okay, it should have been over then, because moving on from Jadon now, as we saw, United got that. Not even let's not say 6-1. It was 1-6. Yeah, because it wasn't Old Trafford, so it was 1-6. It wasn't 6-1. When you say 6-1, it makes it sound like Tottenham were at home. No, it was 1-6, and it highlighted a lot of issues with Ole Ball. So I want to know, you knew the price for Jadon. If you had bought Jadon, it would not have fixed a lot of the issues at United right now. So going through the transfers, let's see. They bought Van der Beek, very good player, but where does he
Unnecessary.
play?
Unnecessary.
Amad Traore or Amad Diallo, I think they changed his name to try to get him into the country because he can't come till January. Because everyone was saying his name was Amad Traore, and then all of a sudden his name changed to Amad Diallo. I thought it was two different players. So they bought him. He's 18 years old. I think he played 3 games for Atlanta or something.
Daycare. This is what this is. Daycare, bro.
They bought Alex Telles.
Which was necessary, but he wasn't the first choice. Regulon was the first choice.
He might be good. I don't know much about him. I do know that he's 27, 28. I think he's only played 1 game for Brazil. So you're thinking, how,
What is this? Is this the Madrid? Is this the Madrid player that went to Spurs?
No. We're talking about Alex Telles, Porto.
Came from Porto.
Oh,
I personally don't know how good he is. Like, he might be good, but most people that usually come from Portugal do well in England. Portugal has a good track record in players doing well in England. So
he's a good player. He's a good player.
Yeah, so I give him the benefit of the doubt, but he does have to
listen. Anything's better than the couch potato.
That's true. That's true. Luke Shaw is shocking, but and then this Facundo Pelestri.
Listen. This is where United have been cradle snatching, bruv, because no one knew who this guy is. All we know he's 18, and that's it. And apparently, I was watching the chief sports writer for Brazil, bruv. I can't remember his name. Man was saying, bruv, he struggles in the league that he's in right now. So I'm just like, what are we buying him for?
I think Diego Forlan gave him his recommendation.
See what I'm saying? Apparently. These guys, I told you already, bruv. Van der Beek needs to go to Van der Sar and sue him for fraud, bruv. This Pelestri needs to go to Forlan and sue him for fraud, bruv, because they're selling man dreams about a team that is dead food, bruv, with a manager, bruv, that shouldn't be anywhere near this club. The manager is on work experience, right? McKenna and Michael Carrick are on work experience, and Mike Phelan is collecting his pension, bruv. This is his last thing before he collects his pension, bruv. Let's not be around the bush. Like it's facts, bruv. It's fact. Everyone can see it. It's a nonsense. And you know what the most hurtful thing about it. Actually, before you go, say the last person before I go into this.
And then the last one, I think Tooth. This is Tooth's boy. He got that magical number 7. The number 7 worn by George Best, David Beckham, Cristiano Ronaldo. Wait, who got it after Cristiano?
Antonio fucking Valencia, bruv. You don't know who, bruv. Legends, bruv.
Actually, it was Michael Owen, then Valencia.
Oh,
hey, let's not forget the best number 7 United has ever had. My man, Alexis Sanchez. The best number. Wait, the thing, what's his name? Konchalskis? Wear that shirt?
I can't remember, He might remember
who won it. So yeah, Edison Cavani at 33 years old.
Yeah, again, another man collecting his pension, bruv. Another man collecting his pension before he goes and retires.
Out of all those players, you would say Van der Beek is a good signing. Probably not necessary. Telles was necessary because Luke Shaw, his dream is to just sit on that bench and eat pies and pizzas for the rest of
all
his
man's doing is eating food, bruv. Man was on that eat out to help out every single Monday to Wednesday, bruv. That's what he was doing.
So we've got to actually mention Dean Henderson, who came back from loan, which I think he should be number one by now.
Should be number 1 by now.
So you're looking at that and you're thinking, what a transfer went like. Instead of focusing on Jaden, would you not have preferred to say, let's spend whatever to get Upamecano?
To be fair about Upamecano,
I know he signed a new contract.
No, but as Tooth said, like, he's only going to be there this season and then he's going buy-in.
Oh,
because he's got the buyout clause in it. Yeah.
Okay, that's true. And my thoughts on Koulibaly. I don't personally rate Koulibaly that much, and I would not spend 90 million on Koulibaly. But you guys had the opportunity to sign someone like Gabriel, because you guys were interested in him, but obviously that money you thought you were going to use on Jaden. There's just other positions. Ismaili Sarr you could have gone after. I know he's not great, but he's better than nothing, better than signing. Remember, you signed these two players, Amad Diallo and Pelestri, for, I think, a combined
80 million.
Yeah, it could round up to 80 million.
80 million. If you round up the 80 million with them, and then you put Cavani's, like Sanchez's wages which is now going to Cavani, they could have afforded Jadon Sancho. So instead of trying to run a play scheme for two players and then trying to give a man his pension for when he retires in Uruguay, you could have just went out and bought Jadon Sancho.
Rob, they could have just fucking sacked the mascot as well, and then you would have had money. Do you know what I mean? For the Arsenal move, bruv. Hey, listen, don't be surprised if the next transfer window, Man United are fucking axing the mascot, bruv.
Sacking the devil, yeah.
You know
it's been strange, and what I want to say with all of this is that how much did Ole have a part to play in terms of what he wanted? I don't know if he really wanted Van der Beek. I guess Tellez, it sounds okay, so he would have gone after him. I'm not sure how much Ole has been communicating with what's his name, Woodward, in terms of what he wants. So what happened in the second season when the board doesn't back the manager? What happened at United? Because I'm a lot of people are confused right now about what's going on.
Can I just add my 2 cents to that? Because I think you hit the nail on the head. You don't think Ole's going up to the chairman and saying what he wants. Bro, TJ said this before in the past. Ole's not telling the fucking players what he wants. He's just going out there and like, yeah, just play football. I bet he's going up to the board and be like, yeah, just buy players.
Bro, I don't disagree. I don't disagree, bro. Right? You think Ollie's going there and saying to Woodward and them man there, these are the players that I want. Here's my list. Of course he's going up there with a shopping list, but Woodward's just like, you're not having him, you're not having him, you're not having him, you're not having him. So he just gets left with the bare minimum. Like, out of all them players, I could probably say maybe Tellez was on that list as a second option because the first option was Reguilon, right? Apart from that, anyway, there was like none of those other players were on the list.
Reguilon went to Spurs, no?
Yeah, because he turned it down because he looked at it and thought, let me think, right? Let's be realistic. As bad as Mourinho's been, anywhere he goes, he wins a trophy and he's a respected and recognised manager, no matter what you think of him. And he's at Tottenham Hotspur, who've built a new stadium. Then we've got Gollum in the Man United dugout, right? Who is on work experience, stealing the living for the past 2 years, tells Bruno Fernandes, just do what you were doing at Sporting Lisbon, plays Pogba out of position, and basically tells everybody on the pitch, just go out there, boys, and have fun. Bro, I would turn it down as well. Like, Jaden probably looked at it and thought, why am I going to put in a transfer request to go to this guy, this bum, this fraud who got relegated with Cardiff, like, to go there and him, like, don't get me wrong, I get to do what I want, but I want to try and win trophies. I want to try and do something. So it makes sense as to why not, like, the thing is, it's been happening to Woodward throughout, and Woodward's a lot to blame as well, because you've got players that you're going for and players are telling Man United, no, I don't want to come.
Can I just add on the Reguilon subject? Again, me being like the fucking international sort of correspondent here, bruv, Real Madrid fans were pissed that he left, bruv. The only reason my man never got into the only reason my man never got into the squad was because he had a beef with Zidane's son.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, he never got into that Madrid squad because him and Zidane's son, the goalkeeper, I don't know what his name is, Enzo, whatever.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, him and Reguilon had a beef.
Yeah.
That's why Madrid never sold him, bruv. They put him on loan to Sevilla for like 2 years or whatever it was. They always had an intention of keeping him. But then when he figured out, like, look, Zidane's going to be on the fucking manager's role for a while, bruv, I'm bouncing. Bruv, last year when Madrid got kicked out of the Champions League, embarrassingly, who was it by when Varane scored an own goal and shit like that? You remember that game?
Not last season, the season before
this
last.
season. Sorry, yeah, this season. Man City. Bruv, I had Madrid fans texting me saying, bruv, this won't happen next season. Watch when we get Reguilon. Do you know what I mean? That's how highly this kid was regarded, bruv. Even though he's not a kid anymore, but he was really rated highly in Spain, bruv. So I don't blame him for not coming United, bruv. I don't blame him.
Bro, it's a sinking ship at United, and the thing for me is, right, like, it's gotten to the point now where you lot know me and know how passionate I am about United, and bro, I'm not even interested in what goes on at United now. Like, as long as this guy is there, like, don't get me wrong, the board needs to go as well. We need to get rid of that board, because as long as that board is there, right, it's always going to be the same thing. But unfortunately, the Glazers have got their clause in. They don't have to put money into the club because they can take out how much they want to take out. And as long as they're there, Woodward's going to be there, because Woodward on the commercial side, which is what he's good at, right, is always going to be making money. So it's a thing where you get a director of football in. Go and get Edwin van der Sar, who sold Donny van der Beek a dream, and get him in as the director of football, right? And let him do that. And then we need to get Schmeichel out of the club, bruv. He needs to go. His time is up. His time was up ages ago, bro. But the fact of the matter is, because he's a yes man and he listens to what they say, they will keep him on. But as we were talking before this started, look at the fixtures that we got. We got Newcastle away, we got PSG away, Chelsea at home, Leipzig at home, Arsenal at home, and then we got Everton away, and then we're away in Turkey. Something that the fixtures go something like that. Like, if I'm honest, if we don't get 3 points against Newcastle, shambles, because we're not getting points. We're not going to get any points from anywhere else in those fixtures. Even in Istanbul, if he's still there, we'll probably go there and lose as well to whatever it is. I don't even know their name. Their name's so long, it's a sentence, right? but his time's up. The fraud thing has to stop. Like, United are a laughing stock right now to everybody, right? And it seems like players are coming in and they're just here for the money, and we're willing to pay man's pensions. Cavani is going to be Falcao. What happened to Falcao is exactly what's going to happen with Cavani. And the worst thing about it is that, or the truth knows, bro, we remember that Champions League game against Chelsea when he missed all those chances. Bro, I don't want him to fail, but my whole thing is I don't really have confidence in him when he's one-on-one in front of goal. Fantastic goal record. I rated him highly when he was at Napoli. Then at PSG as well. I mean, he's the record goal scorer now. But in them big game situations, one-on-one, like, it's like he turns into Higuain, bruv. Like, he just goes missing. But I want it to work out, but it's a panic buy. It's a panic buy because you messed about with Sancho. He didn't want to come. You didn't want to take there was two things. They didn't want to take the risk with Dembele because of the injuries, but two, Barcelona said the only way you can take him on loan is if you buy him. Now, Ousmane Dembele is a bad boy player, right? He's a very, very good player, but you're gambling if with the injuries, because there's been so many injuries with him. Ishmaeli Star can still happen, because between EFL and Premier League that can happen, but I can't see it happening.
They want funds for that though, and United don't want a loan, so
but they want 50 million for him or something like that.
So I doubt United.
So I doubt that's going to happen as well. And then it's like, well, okay, and then you go and panic buy, and because this young boy has played for Atalanta 3 times, it's like, oh yeah, there's our winger, there's the winger, like you're trying to show. But the main thing was you bought in Cavani, so it could be like, oh yeah, the name Cavani. And these fickle, stupid, dumb United fans that are still backing what this club are doing and backing that fraud of a manager are going to accept this and accept how badly the club is being run, how badly it is from top to bottom, and this fraud is still stealing a living. And the other thing that upsets me, I know a lot of other United fans on other podcasts have said this, is that the main thing is that when it was David Moyes, everyone was like, get Moyes out, including the pundits. When it was LVG, it was like, the football's boring, so we need to move on. All the pundits said it. When it was Jose and it was going bad, and it was bad, can't get it twisted, it was bad, they were like, Jose needs to go, the football's terrible, But because they're boys now in the chair, no one ain't saying nothing apart from Evra and Van Persie. And when Van Persie decided to open up his mouth about Ollie decided that thought he was some bad man and start trying to send shots for him. Shut up, because he's telling the truth. Same thing with Uncle Pat. Uncle Pat was there, bruv, looked suicidal on Sky Sports, ready to hand in his P45.
That's why I'm going to ask to Sky. I really would like to end up my contract with Sky because
and say, I don't want to work for Sky Sports no more. This is what this club is driving ex-players, legends of the club, because that's what Pat is, to the ones that will say something. Even Roy Keane has turned on him and been like, yeah, well, boy, Ollie ain't got no more time. Like, he has to do something or he's out. And bro, everyone's seeing it. And the biggest thing for me, and it's always the way, it's the biggest measuring stick I do, because truth, you know this from Wenger in the final days. When you speak to other fans and they don't fear your team, right? You know there's something, you're a big club, you know there's something wrong. You lot can sit here now and say, you don't fear United under Ollie. Tooth can sit there and say, I don't fear United when they come away to St. James's Park in a couple of weeks' time, right? But if we had Poch in, it changes everything, because then we're getting someone that knows what he's doing. He has a system. He has a style of play. Don't get me wrong. Yes, 100% people can bring out the fact that he hasn't won anything. And we know that. But Guy didn't get backed in the last two transfer windows with Spurs and still pulled up trees. And obviously it went south after the Champions League final, but he looked like he was burnt out. You give this man the players that we got, because what you telling me for like that 11 is so terrible that they're getting absolutely ripped apart by Brighton. Is that how bad that 11 is, that they're getting ripped apart by Brighton? Now, don't get me wrong. When you got a couch potato and a fridge on toes, right, on the pitch, yeah, it doesn't help, innit? And then when you got Penandes, who's basically doing what Sanchez was doing, but because he's scoring penalties, everyone's like, oh my days, he's the Messiah, he's the savior. Man got player of the season for doing what? For scoring penalties when Fred, he got player of the season over Fred. Who Fred had a good season until it came up to the pandemic, and Penandes got it and all that when he's doing. And then you got man like this is the thing for me. I know I've gone off on one, but you lot started it now, right? Man, like first of all, in that game, everyone was sending for Bailly. Bailly hasn't played all season, but no one's sending for Maguire. Right? No one was sending for the fridge on toes, whose main job in that team is to header a football, and man couldn't even header it back to David De Gea in his hands. And then man decided to grapple Luke Shaw and throw him out the way because he believed that he was going to get to the ball first. Like, bro, it's a nonsense. It's a nonsense. You spent 80 million on a man. And Leicester, what did Leicester go and do? Went and bought Sainchu for like not even half that price, and he looks better than the fridge on toes at centre back. Even sideways Dyer.
He's one of the fastest players in the Premier. He's faster than St. Maxi, bro. Soyuncu.
Where did you get that from?
Bro, look it up, bro. Look it up.
Yeah.
All right, you guys keep talking. I'm gonna pull it up.
Yeah, and but you can't tell me those 11 players are that bad that we're getting played off the park by Brighton. Same thing towards the end of the pandemic. We got played off the park against Southampton, right? West Ham, I think it was West Ham as well, where we drew 1-1 because Pogba's handball and that. And in the Europa League, you're trying to tell me that 11 for Sevilla was better than the 11 that we had out. We got through, against Copenhagen on penalties. So the signs have been there. And even before the pandemic, the signs were there that this man's not doing what he's supposed to be doing. And it's like only certain players get scapegoated. Pogba, obviously, he was the most expensive player at the time. But when you're playing a man out of position, playing him deep, and he's picking up the ball off the centre-backs, and then you expect him to pull up trees and work miracles, it's foolishness. When he played him in that number 10 role, right, Pogba banged goal, the most goals he's ever banged in a season, and got the most assists. But yet you're playing him back where he's picking up the ball off the centre-backs and then you want him to spray 30-yard passes and then play tiki-taka football and then go and score the goal as well. It don't make no sense. It's unrealistic. Don't make no sense. And other players like Rashford, who's been poor for ages, nothing gets said about him, right? Yeah. Matic, been poor for a while, nothing gets said about him. Harry Maguire, the biggest fraud centre-back in football right now, right? The biggest fraud. Man even managed to escape pen. Man's escaped pen. That's how bad it is, right? Foolishness, brother. It don't make no sense. And it all stems from the manager. And it's a thing where once you get a proper manager in, which I don't think is going to happen anytime soon, people think Ollie's going soon. I think the club's going to stick with him till whatever. But until you get a proper manager in to do what he needs to do with these players, bro, it's just going to continue to be heartache and heartbreak for the fans, and nothing will be done.
I've agreed. I've always said, look, taking my Arsenal side out of it, I've always said with United, I saw a lot of the stuff that people say on YouTube, but this is the facts. The board have obviously hired the wrong managers. I don't blame them for Moyes, because Moyes was Ferguson's choice, and
fair enough, which is fair enough.
They put in Moyes. I don't think they backed Moyes as well as they could have. Yes, he was a clown, but they didn't. But then you think they didn't back him because he wasn't good enough, which is understandable. There's no point of giving him money.
The players stopped playing for him as well.
Yeah, there's no point of giving him money, and then you don't think he's got a future. They bought in LVG. A lot of fans before LVG was bought in, they said yes, LVG is the man because he went to the semi-finals with Holland and his previous past.
Do you know what it is for me? LVG. Sorry to cut you off. I think the reason why I thought LVG was necessary wasn't for that. It was because all the discipline had gone out the club. Yeah. Players were just doing what they wanted. Like people were getting in trouble on Instagram and that. And I just thought bringing Louis van Gaal to get the structure back into the club was the reason why I was like, yes, bring him in. But carry on.
For me, there was nothing wrong with Louis. I thought the football was a work in progress. I know a lot of people got tired of it. A lot of United fans need to remember, after 26 years of a manager, what's coming next was always going to be hard. It's always going to be a build. So Louis lost his job. And then you brought in the devil himself, Jose. You guys were so desperate. You brought in a guy that went against the entire philosophy of United. Regardless, it was the entire philosophy of United. It was against.
Fuck about philosophy, bruv. They're in a rut, bruv, and they need.
No, I'm talking about when they bought him in though. They were desperate. He shouldn't have been bought in. He was never going to fit in.
He won the Europa League, bruv.
I could win the Europa League. Send me in there. I would have faced that. I would have faced that thing. I would have won the Europa League.
Yeah, but bruv, David Moyes couldn't do it, and the dude after him, what was it? Louis van Gaal didn't do it, and I love Louis, bruv. Louis van Gaal, Red Army.
To be fair, he did get us the FA Cup.
Yeah, he got FA Cup. He got a trophy too.
Fair enough, but still, like, you can't just discredit Mourinho like
that. I'm saying they brought in a manager that did not suit the philosophy. Like they brought in a manager.
But he won them a title, bro. He won them a fucking. And they finished second.
He did, but look, at the end of the day, it was never going to work out. They've now got Ole, and the same thing is not going to work out. For me, and I've always said to all United fans that support people, that have supported Ole, that supported Mourinho, and they keep on just hanging it all on the board, I'm like, look, yes, the board is to blame. They brought in the wrong guy. But all they need to do is bring in someone who is the right guy, someone like Poch. Someone like Poch. So then you can be like, this is how we can go forward. Because Poch will get the best out of that squad. Ole is not going to get the best out of that squad. No matter what, Ole is not going to get the best out of that squad. And United do have ballers in that squad. I don't think United should be struggling like the way they're doing. But they got a manager that clearly can't play football. He doesn't know what high press is. he high presses and he's got a low block and there's loads of space in midfield. Against Tottenham.
Bro, the biggest joke, here's the thing. You got a manager that the only thing that we can all say that he likes to do is play counter-attack, right?
Yeah.
But he wants them to play out from the back. Does it make sense?
Do you know how Ole doesn't have a plan? This is why they don't have a plan. They went down to 10 men against Tottenham, and United are still trying to play out from
Bro,
play out from the back. They're still trying to play out from the back. And they don't even have double triangles. They're literally just saying play out from the back. It literally reminds me of Emery.
It's freestyle football, as Saeed would say. It's go out there and have fun, boys. And he sits there, watching, bro. He's probably watching Coronation Street on that TV, bro. He's probably watching Coronation Street on that TV because he can't be watching the football. Like, I've never seen anything like it where a manager, like I understand why LVG never went on the touchline because like he's an old man. You know what I mean? But you got this guy that never goes on the touchline, doesn't give any direction, doesn't give any indication of what he wants the players to do. There's just nothing. Your backroom staff, as I said, work experience and pension. That's what your backroom staff is. And it's ridiculous. And then you've gone and given the man. So I think one of the things that was said is that if you're going to continue with this man, you just have to give him the players that he needs, because unless we get top draw players, the same things are going to happen. You've gone out there, you've panicked, and now you're stuck with nonsense. And it's a thing where now, like, he's out there. Like, don't get me wrong, I want him gone, but like he's taking the results are taking the club with him, and that's the bad thing. So my whole thing is that we just have to sit here and deal with it. Like, we'll see what the signings do. As I said, I don't think Alex Telles is a bad signing considering we've got the couch potato. Van der Beek, don't get it twisted, talented player, love him, but it's a thing where we could have used that money for a different area. And here's the final thing about playing out from the back. Sorry that you brought it up. We've seen that this Man United team can't play out from the back. There are shambles at it, right? What was the reason why Chris Smalling was sold? Because he can't play out from the back. But if your back four can't play out from the back, then what's the point? Because he's your best defender. He's your best defender.
The Chris Smalling thing didn't make sense.
When you got Phil Jones stealing the living on 150 grand. 150 grand a week. Rojo's still there.
Tell me something. Is Rojo still at that club?
Rojo's still there.
What is he doing?
Don't ask me. I don't know. He's living life. He's living life, bruv. Sipping on champers, living life, bruv. What's it name? Like Lingard, who everyone was saying was supposed to go, is still there. Like, there's so much dead wood still at club, and then all the players that they've gotten rid of have only gone out on loan. Bar Chris Smalling, everyone else has gone out on loan. Dallo, who he doesn't fancy, has gone out on loan. Pereira, don't ask me why he's still here, is gone out on loan, because he should have been sold, because he's absolute garbage himself.
Just a question on Van der Beek. This, and Tooth knows, a lot about this player as well, coming from the Ajax system. What do you think about the fact that a player who was integral to Ajax, getting them through to the semi-finals of the Champions League 2 seasons ago, was integral to their system, a player that Real Madrid wanted? What do you think him that he cannot get a start for United and he's only come on for the last 15, 20 minutes? A player like, I'm sorry, you're playing, okay, Matic you're playing. Van der Beek can do what Matic can do and more. Did you see the fourth goal for Tottenham when they put it out wide to Aurier and he crossed it in? Do you know Matic saw Son run off him? And I don't know if he tried to run, but he was just walking back, and then, the goal came. If that was Van der Beek, someone who's mobile and spots danger, surely he's a better option than Matic, even though it's not his best position, let alone playing further forward. Why can Van der Beek not get a start?
Is that to me or to TJ?
Both. Like, why is Van der Beek not getting a start? I know I'm putting it to two because he knows Van der Beek is a baller. So, tell the people how much of a baller Van der Beek is.
Bruv, listen, everyone knows that Ajax Academy is total football. Total football means you don't stop running, you cover every position. If someone comes out of position, you would know this better than I do because of all your coaching experience. But you know what I mean? If someone goes out of position, you cover that position. In that Ajax system, you don't play centre mid or you don't play left back. Do you know what I mean? If the left back decides to make a run, the left midfielder covers the left back. It's like you play everywhere. And his agent said it best. Even he doesn't know why the fuck Van der Beek. Did you guys hear that? His agent was like, bruv, you know what? Everyone was talking shit about Sanchez, saying like, you know, after his first training session, why the fuck did I leave Arsenal? And, you know, all the fans were saying, oh, he's just saying it because of the money and this, that, and the third. But, you know, it's true. You've just had another world-class player, top prospect, come into the club. Everyone saw what he done in that Ajax squad with the likes of De Ligt and the other youth that went
De
Jong, yeah, and Ziyech, and do you know what I mean? And the Brazilian youth that plays up front for them. They all saw what, and they were nobodies. Do you know what I mean? Let alone the star-studded squad that contains the likes of Pogba's and Fernandez's, and do you know what I mean? You name it. So it bemuses me just as much as anyone else. But I don't know, man. It's Ollie's just he's blind. He doesn't understand. Like TJ said it best, bro. He just doesn't understand football, man. At the end of the day, you're playing out from the back and you're 10 men down. And what was it? The score is 1-1. Do you know what I mean?
No, it's 2-1.
2-1.
Still, like, damage control, bruv. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't do shit like that and then letting 6 goals. Like, who the fuck taught this guy how to play football? No disrespect to Alex Ferguson, but he didn't take a page out his head.
No, he did not. No, he did not. Bro, because apparently, like, they said that he used to sit on the bench and study and analyze Fergie and what he used to do and study the game. He wasn't doing any of that, bro. Man was sitting on the bench playing Game Boy in them years, bro. That's what he was doing.
If you guys lost 6-1 attack, the joke is, if you guys lost 6-1 going for the game, that's so understandable. You guys lost 6-1 trying to damage control.
Yeah.
So yeah, TJ, what is your thoughts on the whole Van der Beek thing? Because for me, I love that player. I'm surprised that he doesn't get a look in right now.
I get why he doesn't get a look in. He's not. The thing is that because players get labelled for certain positions, he's seen as a number 10 in it. Now Bruno Fernandes is Ollie's love child, so he's not gonna drop him, right? Yeah. With the Matic thing, he wants a holding midfielder. My whole thing is that you're playing. In particular, the Spurs game, you're playing against Spurs when you know Højbjerg and Winks are going to be two. We thought it would have been Lo Celso, but it wasn't. It was Ndombele.
Yeah.
Right. So they're going to be nipping around, running around, all sorts. Why would you play Matic who can't run when you've got... Bro, it's one of them ones where me personally, I would have played Fred, but even if you played McTominay, it would have made more sense.
Yeah, of course.
Than playing Matic, regardless of whether you're at home or not. But I think coming back to the Van der Beek thing, I think that's basically it, because he's not a holding midfielder. And Ollie doesn't want to drop Pogba, even though I would personally drop Pogba for 2 reasons. One, he still doesn't look like he's up to speed yet. And 2, as long as they're playing Pogba, these dumb United fans are going to keep blaming him for everything, right? So I would just take...
Do you think it's time for Pogba to bounce?
Bro, he needs to go. Bro,
there was talk of Paris Saint-Germain.
He needs to leave and go and win trophies. That's what he needs to do, because this guy is one. This guy is one of the most talented midfielders of his generation, right? And don't get me wrong, he hasn't shone the way how we wanted him to at United, but he hasn't been helped with the amount of the types of players that he's had around him and the managers that he's had around him as well. But he needs to go. But coming to Donny van der Beek, Poch. If Poch is there,
for sure,
not necessarily in that Spurs game, but in the games at home to your Brightons and your Burnleys and your Fulhams and your West Broms, he's playing Van der Beek, Pogba, and Bruno all in that team, bruv. And he's like, yep, total football. Not so much in the big games, because he might be like, all right, cool, let me bring in a Fred or a McTominay for X, Y, and Z. But Donny van der Beek should be getting in this team purely based on talent. But because Ollie hasn't got a philosophy or a style of play or a system apart from play out from the back, but we're a counter-attacking side, right? Donny's not going to get in that team. He might do after the international break because the pressure might get put on him to be like, you need to play Donny van der Beek. Do you know what I mean?
banned in it, so he's got a chance now.
Well, no, because Cavani's going to be playing up front.
Oh,
which
I don't know how that's going to see. Tell me, how's that going to work? You got Cavani on a counter-attacking team. You guys rely on pace up front. It doesn't make sense.
And the thing is, because we don't create chances, because our best creative chances is playing holding midfield, right? It's just like, well, where's Cavani's chances going to come from? Because you can't play counter attack because he hasn't got the legs for it anymore. So he's going to be holding up the ball. Penandes is just going to be basically doing what he wants. So instead of linking up with Cavani, Penandes will probably be on the right wing or something, trying to fight with somebody else or tell someone else, which I do love. I love the passion. But it's just like, bro, there's no thinking behind anything that is done. It's basically panic buy. Cavani's a name. We can get him on a free. That this will appease the fickle, dumb Man United fans that believe that this club still cares about trying to win trophies when you've got a dumb manager in charge that doesn't know what he's doing, a board that doesn't care because they're taking money out of the club, and still no director of football. It's a shambles, and United are going to suffer for it. And this is why I said there'll be no Europe next season. You see that top nine? That top nine is a real thing. Yeah? Because when you've got the so-called big six and then you've got Wolves, Leicester and Everton who are doing a madness, and all those people that said, oh, Ancelotti's too old, look at what the man has done. I know it's only on early doors, but again, with Everton, same thing that we could see with Arteta at Arsenal. Even though Fat Frank has got the players and not many people believe in him, with those three managers that have come in the short term in the Premier League, even though Ancelotti has managed it before, we can see what they are doing and we can see what they are trying to do, and we can see the type of football that they want to play, and they understand the players that they got, the positions that they need to play, and what they need to do to get the best out of these players. This man has been managing for 2 years. He's been a manager for what is it, 12 years or something like that. He started managing the same time as Pep Guardiola, and his claim to fame is that he got relegated by Cardiff, because I don't want to hear nothing about winning the title with Mulder, because I'm sure us three could create a team in Norway and go and win that league. This is what we are dealing with as Manchester United Football Club.
Bruv, let me say this, yeah. I've played with some Norwegian youths, bruv. Them man are ballers, bruv. Trust me, they can ball. But I agree with you, TJ, bruv. And to add to that, what you were saying about Carlo, yeah, and bringing the best out of players, bruv, who the fuck was Calvin Klein, whoever the fuck he is last year, bruv?
It's
true. Was he last year, bruv? Bruv, James, dead food last year, bruv. Do you know what I mean? In the space of, like you said, in a short space of time, not even a season, like in the space of a few games.
Well, just on your James talk though, this is why I've always actually wanted, and I'm going off on a tangent here, this is why I've always wanted James in England. I think in Spain and in Germany, playing for Real and Bayern, it wasn't the challenge that him as a Colombian that he needs. They need the hard grind, those Colombians. They like the Uruguayans. They like the hard grind. So he should have come to England first to get that toughness out of him. When you go Madrid, it's a weird lifestyle.
Bruv, James' problem has always been psychological, bruv. And it's been pointed out. It's been pointed out many times. He just can't play in a team where he's not the man. Guy. Do you know what I mean? He just can't play in a star-studded team. That's why he flopped that Real. That's why he flopped that Bayern, because he just shied out in those games. Like, as you said, it's got something to do with pressure. Like, he needs to carry that team. He needs to carry a team in order to get the best out of him. If he doesn't have that sort of pressure on him, you've seen what happened at Madrid and you've seen what happened at Bayern. But again, that's not taking away anything from Carlo and what he's done.
Of course.
Similarly with Arteta and what he done with Arsenal, he turned it around. Like, bruv, Emery had that team in such a rut that people thought this Arsenal team was going to be a project thing. Like, we got to give Arteta time. And bruv, he already came in, banged in a fucking FA Cup. Do you know what I mean? One time for the one time. So it's absolutely true, man. But look, on that note, you were speaking about finishes. Yeah, I just like to wrap it up. I want to know your thoughts on where United will end up this season, bruv.
10th.
Deep.
Bruv, as long as he's there, nothing good is going to come of it. And I love Man United and I've supported them for many years. But some of these Man United fans need this reality check to show them that this man has been a fraud for the time that he's there. And as I said it, the worst thing that happened is that we finished third. And I blame that on all you stupid other teams that allowed this man to let this team finish third to give him another stint in this. Bruv, do you know how happy this man is to be in this job right now? Because he knows once this job is over, he's not getting another job anywhere apart from Norway, bruv. You're going to have to go back to Norway after this.
Bruv, he's got bare friends in Sky Sports, bruv. You never know. Like, he might end up doing some punditry.
Bruv, even at a pundit, he fail, bruv. Because what's he gonna do? What analysis can Ollie do, bruv? Apart from see he's there, having a good time, look at this, freestyle football, that's what it's about. Bruv, this guy could never be a pundit, bruv. Him and Jamie Redknapp can hold hands, bruv, because both of them don't know nothing about football.
No.
About football.
Nothing about football, bro.
A lot of them.
Graham,
on that note, before we bounce, did you man see in the comment section? I put the stats up.
Yeah.
Fastest player, Soyuncu, bruv, 23.3 miles an hour.
That's mad.
That is
mad.
That's
mad.
Well, what is that? Is that just a straight dash though? Like,
I'm not sure, bruv. I didn't read the article too tough. I just remember reading this a while back. But the St. Maximan 22.8 miles an hour was done on a torn hamstring.
That's
mental.
What the fuck?
That is mental.
That is crazy, bro.
Not a torn hamstring, but an injured hamstring, some shit like that. So, bruv, that might not even be his top speed, bruv. We could be looking at, bruv, that is crazy.
That's mad. But
yeah, man, as those stats stand, Soyuncu, bruv, he's got pace, bruv. He's got bags of pace. But anyway, one time for the one time only. You know, wrap it up, boys. We will do. And that's enough of that depressing nonsense. But yeah, that's another show done. As we said, make sure you like and subscribe on the channel. I want to say thank you to the two guys that are actually happy after this podcast. My guys, Tooth and the Truth. Thank you very much, sirs. All good, bruv. We're always happy to be on this shit, bruv. You know, we're the only two stable, like, fucking regular attendees, bruv. You know what I mean? No matter what the conversation is. I just want to say to the fans, listen, man, we got Teofimo and Lomachenko coming up. We got Bear UFC talk coming up. Bear boxing
big
talk
UFC talk coming up.
You know what I mean? I just got to put a little drop there for the combat sports. We got a lot of combat sports coming up.
Oh yeah, of course, man.
You know what I mean?
Of course, man.
Yes, guys, man. Everyone, hate, comment, subscribe. We don't care what you comment. You know, it all helps out. Help us how to improve. You know, tell us we're welcome to all comments, no matter how much. We'll give it back to you as well. So be careful. But yeah.
As the Truth said, comment below. You know, there's a little thing up there that up there, if you can see it above my head, that, you know, we need to start that campaign going because he needs to go. But thank you very much to my guys. As they said, we've got a lot more content coming up. I think this Saturday, if the playoffs are over, we'll be looking to wrap that up. And then in the next couple of weeks, as Tooth said, we got boxing talk, we got UFC, we got Khabib and Gaethje. And obviously the bread and butter is football and the Premier League. But good night, people, and have a good one. Peace.
Keep it easy.